Okay, get started here on getting Penn State rolling out tomorrow at about 10:15. Fly out there, get to State College around 6 tomorrow night, and then we'll have an opportunity to have a pretty normal tomorrow morning, have a very normal today, and then when we get there, we'll have a couple meetings, and then Saturday walkthroughs, and then get ready for the game, which will be a lot of fun. Our team's excited. We're excited. So we'll see how it goes.
Decker DeGraff obviously has had a huge role for you guys. When did you kind of know he was going to be able to contribute right away?
Yeah, he was so young when we got here, and young looking, that you forget, right, that how talented he was and what a high recruit he was. So, he really didn't have much interest when we were trying to recruit him at the last place. So it was nice to kind of remind myself, and Pal reminded me about, how highly we thought of him as a high school player. And then when we got in spring ball, I just, kept making plays, catching the ball. And then training camp, had a really good training camp. But again, we had Lecky and him, and we kind of just started seeing, the quality of his hands. He's got an unbelievable pass catcher. And then with Q Moore's injury, it was time to go. It was time to step up and move Lecky over to Q Moore's position, more of that inline tight end, and then Decker over to what Lecky's position was, which is that move tight end.
On the other side of the ball, they have a pretty good tight end as well. They've started to get that guy some design touches as a wildcat quarterback. What do you guys have to do on Saturday to kind of limit his productivity?
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. He's everywhere. You've got, he's snapping the ball, running touchdowns down the middle of the field. He's taking the ball at quarterback in short yardage plays. He's throwing the ball. He's not just running it. He's a lefty passer, I think. So I saw him complete some balls into the flat. I saw him hit a curl route. I saw him hit, a couple plays there. His pass catching ability. There was a play in the Ohio State game where he was really covered like a glove and came down with an unbelievable catch. He's really almost impossible to cover because of his size. So, he's just such a special player in that regard. We're going to have to find him. We're going to have an eye on him. We're going to have to know he's going to always make some plays, right? He's always going to make some plays. But in the end, they're going to find ways to try to get him the ball, and we're going to have to find ways to try to minimize his opportunities to make explosive plays.
To go back to Decker a bit, it seems like there's a real maturity about him, talking to his high school coach, talking to his family. Did you guys kind of notice that? And what kind of things do you notice that kind of come out?
Yeah, he's like this. He's a wonderful person, so mature in regards to how he speaks and his manners and how polite he is as a person. His academics, he's never showing up on any list ever. Does everything exceptionally well off the field, on the field, in the weight room, in the training room. We constantly get feedback from, I always say, in the first floor of the building knows the real team, right? The locker, the trainers, the equipment managers, the strength coaches, they're the ones that see him every day, all day. And you just hear unbelievable feedback on the way he treats everybody in the building, from the cleaning people to the trainers to the equipment staff to the strength staff. That reflects on how he prepares. So then when you go out to the practice field, he takes such great pride in what we're asking him to do. Now, we're asking him to do a lot. So there's going to be times that it's not perfect in what we're asking him to do. But there's never a time that effort's not a question. He is fantastic in that regard.
Defensively for Penn State, it's a lot more single high than you guys have seen this season. Kind of what have you seen from that defense? What do you guys have to maybe adjust to address some of those coverages?
Yeah, Coach Allen got there this year, does a great job with playing an aggressive style of defense. You can tell he's very confident in his two corners. One transfer from Florida, one from Georgia. He's confident in his nickel. His safeties can cover. He's not afraid to play cover one a lot. Certainly their lead coverage. And that's always a great challenge, right? That's a challenge to every wide receiver in America, that when they're not afraid to play you in man-to-man and spot you up and get right in front of your face and press you, then that's a challenge. And then you got to see, how am I going to handle that challenge? Can I win or can I not win? And then they mix in zone enough that you really can't get a beat on, how often are they going to play man or when are they going to play man. You just kind of know at the end of the game, you're going to see a lot more man than you are zone. But they do a great job, and they're really physical, big football team that you can tell Coach Franklin for the last 11 years has kind of created the team that he wants it to look like.
Jonah mentioned last time he was in here that, everything he does to take care of his body during a week. He said that was a process. It wasn't something he, did from the jump. I guess, how do you look at the ideal way, like body maintenance for your players during the week? I know it's different for each player, but.
No, that's a great question. We are trying to make our program the most player-centric program in America, and we've made that point of emphasis from the last place I was at to now. And to do that, it requires a ton of resources and a ton of commitment from that university. It requires a commitment to allow players to use cryotherapy at their disposal. It allows a commitment to have an enormous amount of massage therapy available to the team throughout the week in our building. It requires a commitment of all of the hydrotherapy rooms and making sure the cold tub, the hot tub, the underground treadmills are all at the highest standard. It requires, some of the changes that are now going on in locker rooms, where lockers are now having Normatec boots and Theraguns available in every locker. It requires all nutrition. We've talked about nutrition. It requires an enormous financial commitment to be able to provide for these kids the right amount of food and the necessary amount of food, calories-wise, that football players need based on how we practice. We're on the field practicing 2.5 hours every day. We're not a short practice team. If you're going to practice that length of practice, you're going to have to really refuel them. So, what we ask for with our program and what we've continued to ask for is a full commitment to our player wellness. And on top of that, a full commitment to their mental health. We have currently 3 full-time sports psychologists that are working with football, 2 of which are spending a lot of their days here. And I feel like when you start dealing with all the other aspects of the game, you have the mental health and the physical health, and that's where I see Jonah's done a phenomenal job of buying into our program.
When did you see him really start to invest in that stuff?
Well, usually freshmen don't believe it. Sophomores start questioning it. Juniors, they live it. Seniors, they just do it. And I would say that in this case, the biggest change from Jonah would be from year 2, where he started to test it, to year 3, which is now where he just believes it and does it. And then I would say next year, I think it'll be a situation for Jonah that he'll be responsible for making sure everybody else follows that same path.
Have you seen any improvements in him because of maybe, starting to believe in this stuff?
Yeah, I think Jonah's probably in the best shape of his life. He's as strongest he's ever been. He has managed to have the most amount of reps he's ever, he took 56 reps week 10 of the season, or 9 of the season, whatever we were in last week. So if you're taking 56 reps as a running back week 9, what are you doing to make sure you can do that? And I would say it's all of the things that we're trying to do to take care of our bodies. If you look at our team going into Penn State, our injury report, knock on wood, I think the only player that's, probably isn't going to play would be Durfee. So where we are week 10, to be able to have everybody healthy enough to play in the game. And of course, we had the Parker injury early on, which was nothing to do with body maintenance. It tells me that the players are really buying in to what we're trying to do, and it tells me the administration has done an amazing job of allowing us to run our program in that way. And that really is all about making sure the players stay healthy.
Obviously, with the whiteout, kind of forces you guys out of the traditional road uniforms. Have you guys decided on what you're wearing for Saturday?
We're wearing white. We're wearing white. They don't wear white at their whiteout. I was surprised too. I thought we were going to wear purple. I was fine with that. But we wear white, they wear blue, and I didn't know that. So, but I did ask that yesterday, and that's what I was told.
How much impact have you seen Jonah have just on the team in general? You know, one of your most talented players. How have you seen his leadership develop?
In every way, shape, or form, he's a fantastic leader. He is everything you could ask for regarding how he really imposes his will onto the team in the most friendly, happy way you can do it. But as this year comes to an end in the next 2 months or so, watching what Jonah will do next year when he feels like he's got a full year of a locker room, it will be something special. But he's joyful. He's a great recruiter. He's the best speaker on our program regarding 3 years of it. Him and Efi have been a part of 3 years and been starters really from the very beginning or major contributors. So it's fun to listen to what those two guys have to say about our program and about what they can do to continue to build it the way we want it.
Yeah, just what's Enoch's situation? How healthy is he? And was this limited snaps just scheme, or was that kind of injury management?
Yeah, Enoch is good to go this week. He'll rotate probably by series, maybe every couple series, but we should have a good balance there of Enoch and Landon and guard all kind of rotating through there at the guard position. Okay, thanks. Appreciate you guys.